I am a homicidal maniac.
Happily married, home care worker Jennifer Fulford, 56 years old, worked for the family of a real estate investor in the upscale and affluent region of Winter Park, Orange County. On September 27, 2017, Jennifer was recorded on surveillance cam leaving a dental appointment and then seen leaving the parking lot in her car. Later, Jennifer's employer, single father Reed Berman, would try to contact Jennifer's cell phone after receiving word from his children's school that Jennifer had not been there to pick the children up at 2:30 p.m. as usual, something extremely out of character for Jennifer Fulford, who had worked for the family for 6 years. Berman got home from work that day. Jennifer was missing. Searching through the home, Reed noticed that some things were out of place. For example, the comforter from the bed was missing. Jennifer's purse, however, was found inside a bathroom on the floor beside a toilet. When Berman looked inside, her cell phone and wallet were gone. In addition to the items in the purse, Jennifer's keys and vehicle were nowhere to be found. Reed immediately called the police and Jennifer's husband.
I'm a Winter Park resident, and my nanny is missing. What's unusual is her purse is here.
Okay.
Her car's gone, her purse is here, and nobody's heard anything from her since 11.
Upon arrival, police collected evidence at the scene. Jennifer's husband noted $300 had been withdrawn from Jennifer's account the same day that she went missing. $300 was the maximum amount allowed to be withdrawn from her account. While keeping all leads close to their vest, police released an image of an unknown man believed to be a person of interest in connection with Jennifer Fulford's disappearance. 2 days later, Jennifer Fulford's car and body were found. Very shortly after, 6-time felon Scott Nelson was officially named as a suspect.
We're going to do everything we can with our partners to locate the person responsible for this.
The story of what happened to Jennifer in those hours between leaving her dental appointment and arriving at her employer's home would devastate Jennifer's family and all those who loved her.
Scott Edward Nelson was arrested last night in the city of Jacksonville.
Do you have any idea why you think you may be here at all? No? Okay.
I wasn't particularly happy with this. Sure. See, these people in Winter Park, for instance, right? They have everything but they have beautiful homes and weekend cars and golf courses. I'm walking down the street while all these rich people are walking around buying jewelry and they're having their good life and all this stuff. And when you give a rat's about me.
When the dark motive behind Jennifer's senseless murder was revealed, the police were able to piece together a basic timeline of what happened to Jennifer. Scott Nelson forced entry into the house at 175 Webster, wearing zip ties and duct tape, shortly after 11 a.m. Angry he could not get any cash from the house as none was kept there, he plotted the absolute unthinkable. At knife point, he stole Jennifer's keys, wallet, and phone and wrapped her body in the comforter from the bed. He put her body in the comforter in the trunk of her car and drove to an ATM machine. When Jennifer cried out that she was having a hard time breathing the way that she was wrapped in the blanket, Scott wrapped her entire head in duct tape, making it nearly impossible to breathe. A slow, torturous death. Before that could happen, Scott arrived with Jennifer's car in a wooded area near Disneyland, Orlando. He stabbed her body twice in the back and 3 times in the chest. Her body was abandoned and discovered 2 days later. Zip-tied and head wrapped in tape from her eyebrows to her chin. In the courtroom, he revealed he had an agenda, a specific agenda, and that was to pin the crime on a specific person, his parole officer. He wasn't suggesting that his parole officer was directly responsible for the physical killing of Jennifer. However, Scott's killing of Jennifer was a direct result of the parole officer's cruelty against Scott Nelson.
Please state and spell your first and last name for Madam Court Report.
Scott Edward Nelson, SCOTTEDWARD NELSON.
Thank you. Mr. Lahr?
I'm 55.
Date of birth?
February 28, 1964.
Can you tell me who Julio Dominguez is?
Julio Dominguez is employed by the U.S. Department of Justice, United States Probation Office in Orlando, Florida.
How is he related to this case?
Well, sir, he was my probation officer. I was on supervised release.
Okay, and what is it, the importance of his involvement in this case?
Well, sir, I'll be very frank with you. Jennifer Lynn Fulford would be alive today had it not been for Julio Dominguez.
Reason for that statement, sir?
I think the world should know that. I mean, it's justice. The truth should be known, sir.
You were under the supervision of this individual by the name of Julio Dominguez.
That's correct.
So, Mr. Dominguez was a federal probation officer?
That's correct.
And Mr. Dominguez, according to your statement, is the individual responsible for Jennifer Fulford's death.
Yes.
Did Mr. Dominguez kill Jennifer Fulford?
No.
Who killed Jennifer Fulford?
I did.
So,
Onlookers in the court could only watch in amazement as Scott Nelson justified the murder of Jennifer Fulford, placing the blame squarely on his parole officer, Jose Dominguez.
what did Mr. Dominguez do to you?
He made it a point to create a situation with my employer/landlord, which is one of the same, and he got me thrown on the street after months of suffering on the streets of Orlando.
So what he did was notify your employer that you were on federal probation.
No, actually, Ms. Burdick, what he did was I satisfied the courts and the probation officers' criteria. I told them that I was in prison and I named the felony, and they were happy with that, the family. That satisfied the court. He took it upon himself to, as he called it, a third-party perspective. And he went to the owner and he used vulgar language and said, "What are you, blank, crazy for letting this man live here? And you're gonna let him work here? Get him out of here." And that got me thrown on the street.
All right, and this was in August or September?
It was the last the last Saturday of August.
It became clear that Nelson's whole reason for wanting to take the stand was simply to smear his old parole officer. Nelson wanted to steer the questions and control the entire situation.
I had a plan in mind of how I was going to survive being thrown on the street again. For what? The third, or was it the fourth time by the government, be it state or federal? And you know, once you kick a dog enough times, they tend to bite back. I think anybody would after, I suffered to work my way up to the top of the mountain, and this maniac comes and cuts it out from underneath me. What am I going to do? Go get another job? Let him do it again? No, we're going to fight back.
All right.
He lit a firecracker.
When Jennifer Fulford's murderer found that he could not control the courtroom, he began to shut down.
How long were you in the house?
I don't know, what is the security doors opening and closing? What do they say?
How long do you remember being in the house?
4 hours.
All right. So you had Jennifer Fulford zip-tied on the ground in the living room?
No,
Where?
I didn't zip tie her in the house.
Okay. How did you subdue her while you went upstairs?
She did what I said.
Okay. Did she go with you upstairs?
No,
So she just stayed downstairs while you went upstairs and looked in Reed Berman's bedroom
yeah,
and didn't move?
that's right.
Why didn't she move?
I know, ask her.
Why didn't she move?
I don't know. Because people do.
Her?
Yes, Porter.
Take the comforter off the bed so that you could wrap Jennifer Fulford in it because you wanted to conceal her from the outside.
No,
You didn't wrap her in the comforter.
I didn't do that.
You did it.
I don't know, I didn't do it.
Gratefully, Jennifer's husband, daughter, and family were not in court during the moment Scott was on the stand. And in the end, the jury deliberated.
Madam Clerk, please publish the verdicts.
2017 CF 15684, State of Florida versus Scott Nelson. Verdict, count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder with a weapon as charged in the indictment.
After his guilty verdict, Scott asked the jury for the death penalty, claiming he would suffer too much in prison. He didn't get his way.